Ooh, potatoey. I had no idea that something this good could exist in the world. I love potatoes. This is such a fun episode. Hi, I'm Beryl, and the theme of this week's episode is potatoes. This is a theme that so many of you asked for, and here I am delivering. In this one, I have chosen 5 different preparations that I thought were, first of all, very potato forward and made me think a little bit differently about just what a potato can do. Sorry. And with that, let the potato episode begin! These are pounded potatoes from Yunnan province in China. For this, I'm using red bliss potatoes. These potatoes have red skin and are cream colored on the inside, and they're very waxy, which means that they have a low starch content and they're gonna hold their shape well after cooking. Traditionally, this dish uses a Yunnan potato, but I couldn't get one here, so this is my substitute. China is actually the world's biggest potato producer. Farming of this tuber can be found in every single region of the country. The majority, however, are grown in the northern mountainous regions of China. Yunnan province, where this dish is from, is actually in the southwest of the country. It's a Han dish that uses a mortar and pestle to pound the potatoes until they stretch. The recipe doesn't use any butter or additional fats. The creaminess comes from the waxiness of the potatoes. It's a dish that is typical of home cooking and, surprisingly, not so difficult to recreate. I cannot believe that this worked. I mean, you saw. Those potatoes got stretchy. This is wild! Whoa. So this is a potato dish from Yunnan province in China. And really what it's doing is working with the waxiness of the potatoes to make them kind of mochi-like. It is not like a mashed potato because it's almost dough-like in my mouth. There's a lot of texture happening here. Huh. I'm struggling a little bit because I've never had anything like this. I like it. Okay, this is definitely mashed potato adjacent, but if you were to serve this to me and say, hey, I made you mashed potatoes and I ate it, I would be like, what did you just serve me? I can see how maybe some people might not love this immediately because there is this expectation that this is kind of like a mashed potato, but it's not. So if you go into it expecting that, I think that you would really like it. Yum. This next dish is called causa rellena, and it's from Peru. If you didn't know, the potato is actually from Peru. Over 7,000 years ago, historians believe that the Incas cultivated potatoes on the shores of Lake Titicaca all the way up in the Andes mountain range. Since then, the potato has remained an important part of not only Peruvian culture, but the cuisine as well. There are over 4,000 types of native potatoes grown in the highlands of Peru. While the potato has been in Peru for thousands of years, it didn't make its way out of the country until Spanish conquistadors invaded Peru in the 1500s looking for gold. Instead, they found the potato. As for the dish itself, rellena means stuffed, but causa has its own story. The dish in its modern form seems to have been created during the Pacific War in 1879, where Peru and Bolivia fought Chile. Supplies were in demand, and Peruvian women went door to door taking food donations telling people it was for the cause. They concocted this sandwich-like dish using the donated ingredients like potatoes, carrots, and onion. Today, the dish is served as a starter and something that you share with friends and obviously use to impress them because it looks so beautiful. I was very nervous when I was lifting that can up, but zaza! It's so pretty! This is a causa rellena from Peru, and I'm impressed with myself. Yum. It's interesting because this definitely has the vibes of a tuna sandwich, but it's not because it's mashed potatoes instead of bread. The thing was, for this, I could not actually find all of the ingredients, especially the pepper. So in order to get the yellow color, I used turmeric. You know, is this then the most authentic version of causa? No, it's not. But all of us are not going to be able to find all of the ingredients to make these dishes the most authentic way. So if there are workarounds, I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it's okay because, this tastes amazing. And that's what I could do. The potatoes are so creamy and smooth, and the lime juice in it is a really interesting. I never put lime juice in mashed potatoes. So there's like a really nice zing to them. I made mine with tuna because that's what I had in my house, but also traditionally this is made with chicken, but I did check and tuna was okay. This is definitely a potato forward dish. The mashed potatoes are the star. Sorry, tuna salad. This is kind of definitely a dish that I think impresses people if you serve it to them. I'm impressed and I'm serving it to myself, so. This is called kumpir and it comes from Turkey. For this dish, I'm using a yellow creamer potato. These are small in size and waxy, which makes them really good for roasting. This is a popular street food in Istanbul, but it can be found in other parts of Turkey as well. Interestingly, potatoes arrived in Turkey by way of Croatia, which may be where the dish got its name, because the Croatian word for potato is kumpir. This is definitely the simplest recipe of the bunch, as kumpir is basically a loaded baked potato. I chose it, however, because of what it is loaded with. Where a jacket or baked potato might have butter, sour cream, beans, and cheese, the Turks take it up a notch. They load this dish with sausage, all sorts of pickled vegetables, cheese, and what you end up with is a savory and tangy hot roasted potato with flavors that give your mouth a wake-up call. Okay, so this is Turkish kumpir, which is pretty much the best looking baked potato I have ever seen. I really liked this because it made me think differently about what a baked potato could be. Adding all the different pickled sides is so good and something that I have actually never done. I recently just went to the Polish grocery store and bought a ton of pickled vegetables, so this was a pretty ideal dish for me to make because I had everything at home. Oh my God. So this is a very typical street food in Istanbul, and I think it's really interesting to think about a baked potato loaded up like this as street food. I don't really know how you would eat it on the street. Wow, I'm gonna eat this whole potato. In relation to some of the other potato dishes that I've done, this one might seem a little bit basic, but I think that this is a really great example of using another culture's technique to spice up something that you might do normally. I don't know, make it honestly 10 times better. This potato dish is called goguma matang, and it comes from South Korea. I'm using a Korean sweet potato for this dish. It has a brownish purple skin and is kind of yellow on the inside, and they're kind of oblong in shape. Goguma means sweet potato in Korean, and matang is caramelization process. So these are candied sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes first arrived in Japan via the Portuguese in the 1600s, and they then went from Japan to Korea in the 1700s, where they have become a winter food staple, where you'll often find them roasted over an open fire. In general, Korean sweet potatoes are much sweeter than North American varieties, which is why candying them works actually really, really well. So this is a dessert. It's a candied sweet potato. It's from Korea called goguma matang. And I'm not gonna lie, I messed this up like 3 times. This is the best version of what it's supposed to be. Use my fingers. I mean, it's good. Oh. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I haven't really cooked many sweet things. I am not a baker. I'm not really good with measurements and really taking my time. I like cooking because you can kind of keep fixing things as you mess up. When you're making a candy coating, a lot of things can go wrong, and they all went wrong for me. I burned the sugar. At the end, I do think I got close to it because there's a really nice sheen. You can kind of hear this. That's like the crispiness on the outside. I never thought about a potato as a dessert, even with sweet potatoes. But this is really fun. Soft on the inside, crunchy on the outside. It is like popping candy though. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I can show that I did kind of do it right because they're all stuck together from the sugar coating. Okay. Yum. This is really good. Next one. The final dish is ube halaya from the Philippines. For this, I am using an ube potato, also known as a sweet purple yam. The potatoes are bright purple in color, both outside and inside, and a bit longer and thinner in shape. Ube is actually native to the Philippines and a staple in the country's most famous dessert, halo-halo. The potato itself is sweet, not as sweet as an orange yam, but it also has this nutty and vanilla-like flavor, which is why it lends itself perfectly to desserts over savory dishes. You'll find that it's commonly used in the Philippines in cakes, flan, ice cream, cookies, and so much more. This ube halaya is a sort of sweet jam that can be eaten on its own or acts as the base for all of the other dishes I mentioned above. And oh my gosh, this purple color is so beautiful. I'm ending on a sweet note with ube halaya from the Philippines, and I've tasted this already. It's really, really good. I haven't tasted it on bread though. Oh my God. I feel all of the years of my life wasted, having never had this until right now. It's potatoey. So don't think that all the other ingredients makes the potatoiness go away, because it doesn't. Obviously the condensed milk and evaporated milk, the sweetness comes through. It is not overpoweringly sweet, but gives me everything that I crave if I am craving sweets. Also, the color, it's absolutely gorgeous. There's no food coloring. This is just the natural color of the purple potato. I topped it with toasted coconut. It's nice. So I found this ube potato at the Asian grocery store in Chinatown here in New York City. If you don't have access to something like that, you can also buy this grated and frozen. So maybe online, maybe like a Whole Foods or a more kind of specialty type of grocery store in the US. My mouth is so happy. It's easy to think about all potatoes being the same because, I'm sorry potato, but like you're not the sexiest vegetable out there. You're just a potato. Definitely something that I have learned about this is that potatoes are so versatile. Like potatoes can do anything. And I barely scratched the surface of what potatoes are capable of. I mean, I didn't even do French fries. I think that a French fry episode could be really interesting because I imagine that people put different things on their French fries around the world. You guys let me know. I eat my French fries with ketchup. So lame. But like if you do something else that's really cool, tell me in the comments and maybe I can make an episode out of it. I don't know. And that completes the potato episode. I'm gonna leave the recipes per usual in the description box. And that's it. I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye.